integrate the practice into our lives. Today is day 10, and we are on the last maxim of point 2, nurture the intent to awaken. Maxim 10 reads, begin the process of welcome with yourself. This process of welcome refers to open-handed welcome, the Tonglen practice in Tibetan, which is usually translated as taking and sending or the like. This is a radical practice. Don't let its sweetness fool you. Stop for a moment. What would it be like if half the people, a quarter of the people, 10% of the people, 1% of the people of this planet could operate in their daily lives from a space of open-handed welcome that flattens self-importance and embodies a radical interconnection with all beings, the seamless relationship that we are. We've already visited with this practice in Maxim 7, where we had some explanation of how it works. Maxim 10 is a practice of ultimate bodhicitta, the emptiness. This is a practice we can do either on the cushion or as we go about our day. This is the specialty of point 2, presenting formal practices, whether on or off the cushion, that reinforce one another and fuel the remaining practices in points 3 through 7, which relate to relative bodhicitta, the mindset of benevolence, caring, compassion, love, kindness, and so forth. These 2 points, however, are indispensable. However much points 3 to 7 will work a change in your life, without the continual replenishment, direction, and enrichment that formal practice brings in life and in the meditation, points 3 through 7 will always be limited. Nowadays, those of us who wish to extend ourselves to help heal the suffering of the beings around us, human and otherwise, the harm that the planet is undergoing, can often experience burnout, despondency, and be overwhelmed by the sadness we encounter. Tonglen is an amazing way to take the potent energy that we feel in response to pain and turn it into something transformative, something that can release great compassion that is bodhicitta from within. As we saw with Maxim 7, it can be a little bit dicey feeling, this sense of taking on the suffering of others and giving away our happiness. That's not actually what's happening here, but I promise you, dualistic mind will convince you that it is. Especially at the beginning, it's good to use the instruction in this maxim, beginning this process of open-handed welcome with ourselves. In any case, when we take on negativity, bringing it into our heart, recall that what that is doing is blasting self-importance to smithereens, this sense of a self that is the center of the universe, superior to all else, obstructs us from expressing our true Buddha nature. When we eliminate that, the sun-like radiance of emptiness embraced by compassion shines forth. This is a bottomless well of abundant positivity and resources. There is no way that we can give all of it away and end up with nothing. This practice, then, is a radical way to become familiar with operating out of richness, infinite potentiality, and lack of poverty mentality. Lama Zopa will guide this practice, and as usual, you should pause the recording wherever it feels appropriate for you. As you continue this practice, it will become easier to do it on the spot whenever you encounter feelings of overwhelm, sadness, or feel that you're out of touch with the resilience and infinite resources that we all have. The more you do that, on and off the cushion, the more there seems to be no problem at all with undertaking this practice for others as well as ourselves. Beginning the process of open-handed welcome with ourselves, however, is always something good to keep with us. It's an example of Buddhist self-care that allows us to stay within that infinite well of resources rather than flailing from desperation to indulgence to desperation again. Most importantly, keep in mind that this is all possible in the space of shunyata, the emptiness, infinite possibility, perfect abundance, perfect caring, perfect benevolence, with perfect power, because of what you are, not what you do. Enjoy.
Maxim number 10. Begin the process of welcome with yourself. I love this maxim, just as I love this practice of Tonglen, of open-handed welcome. It's so powerful, this way that the practice helps us to cultivate bravery, to cultivate determination and courage. It gives rise to a force of strength in our own compassion, grounded in our own abundance. This open-handed welcome is training and recognizing the limitless depths of our own capacity. And not just recognizing that, but expanding into it further and further, deeper and deeper. So we begin the process of welcome with ourselves because we are learning to be kind, gentle, and welcoming to ourselves as a necessary first step in order to develop these approaches and attitudes towards others. While this practice certainly is about happiness and suffering, about bravery, it is also about interconnection, relationship. Tonglen is a brilliant practice of utilizing our habitual, limited idea of a static, isolated individual self to break through that very idea, to break through to an experience of how life, the world, and we ourselves are not actually fixed, solid, isolated individuals or entities. This practice, and especially this maxim, reminds me of the story of the Buddha working with and teaching one fellow who was incredibly stingy. So stingy, in fact, that the Buddha had him begin by taking a coin in one hand and placing it in his other hand, simply so that he could get used to releasing his tight grip, his stinginess that even acted up in moving a coin between his own two hands. In the same way, I feel that this practice starts to open us up beyond our very stingy, limited ideas of what we are to the truth, so much more expansive and delightful to live in. To begin this practice, as is usual, first take your seat. Come into the present moment. Really own and appreciate just this moment of being alive, of having this opportunity to practice right here and now. It is unique. It's never happened before, and it will never happen again. Appreciate the potential and power that you have right now, sitting on your meditation seat. In that space, then we will first go for refuge in whatever way is true for each one of us. Perhaps it's simply turning attention to an idea of universal goodness and the support that that can bring on the path. Or it may be going for refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha with the full and clear appreciation for why one does so. So let's just spend 30 seconds going for refuge and developing the altruistic motivation for our practice. Follow that with a brief practice of shamatha, of tranquility meditation, in order to drop into that space of single-pointed attention. We can do this by following the breath or taking any other focal object for our meditation that is supportive and conducive to the practice of tranquility meditation. For the final piece of the meditative preparation before getting into the Tonglen practice itself, we rest in the natural state, just as we were working with it in the meditations connected with maxims 2, 3, 4, and 5. We simply rest vividly, recognizing phenomena as ephemeral like dreams, vividly experiencing the essence of awareness even as we cannot find it to pin down, recognizing that even the remedy has no true existence. We can simply rest in the essence, the ground of all. To do the practice of Tonglen, of open-handed welcome, beginning with ourselves as this maxim advises. First, start just by connecting with your own deepest wishes for happiness. Allow yourself to feel your own innermost heartfelt wish to be happy, not just temporarily happy and in limited ways, but continuously without struggle, free from depending on external conditions, and in the grandest, most lasting of ways. Allow yourself to connect with that deep, heartfelt wish for happiness. How has life nevertheless presented you with obstacles, challenges, and interruptions to this happiness? Gently hold your heartbreak. Bravely touch into your vulnerability. Honor your own resilience and courage, coexisting with your vulnerable heart. Now connect with your own deepest wishes to be free of suffering, to be free from misery, anguish, pain, discomfort, illness, stress, and the like. Really allow yourself to feel your own heartfelt wish to be free of suffering of all kinds, not only temporarily and in limited ways, but continuously, without struggle. Free from strife, free from depending on external conditions. Tap in to this deep, heartfelt wish without the boundaries that we usually put up to protect ourselves from disappointment that life brings when these wishes aren't met. Now, with this vivid sense of the wish to be happy and the wish to be free from suffering, imagine future you, the you of tomorrow morning perhaps, in front of yourself right now. How wonderful if you could take away any and all suffering and the causes of suffering from the you of tomorrow, such that from tomorrow onwards you'd be totally, definitively free of suffering. Likewise, how wonderful would it be to give happiness and all its causes to the you of tomorrow morning, such that from then onwards you would only experience bountiful, boundless happiness and joy. Start to imagine doing just that. When you breathe in all the suffering, despair, desolation, illness, and misery, and the causes of all of that, leaves the you of tomorrow that's right there present in front of you in the form of darkness, and you breathe it all into yourself right now, taking all of it in so that future you is completely free. Willingly take all of it on right now. Breathe it all into your heart, where there is a sanctuary of infinite potentiality, which grows warmer and brighter, transforming the negativity into brilliant white light. As you breathe out, exhale all of your happiness and causes of happiness, of joy, delight, such that it leaves your body in the form of brilliant white light with your exhalation and penetrates the you of tomorrow morning, completely suffusing them, such that this future you is completely filled with these inexhaustible reserves of happiness, joy, and well-being. Continue to practice in this way, connecting the breath with the imagination, where you are breathing in the darkness of suffering and its causes, fully taking it all from future you, such that there is absolutely none left, breathing it all straight into your center. And then as you exhale, breathe out all that brilliant white light of happiness, joy, and delight, and all of their causes, letting it all fully go, riding out of you on your exhalation and entering into the you of tomorrow morning, such that the you of tomorrow is completely suffused with it. Practice like this as long as you like, at least for several minutes. Gradually, as we become more familiar with this practice, we start to extend ourselves further, so that we're not just doing this practice with our future selves, but we move slowly onto doing it with a loved one, and then another loved one, and various loved ones, and groupings of loved ones. And then moving on to those people that we don't feel much about at all, those strangers on the street that we pass in the supermarket. And finally, we continue to move on to those that we have animosity towards or difficulty with, those that we have some form of aversion to, who we might consider our enemies or people better avoided. Continuing to practice in just the same way, where we breathe in the darkness of suffering and the causes of suffering from whatever individual or groups of individuals that we're focusing on. Breathing out the brilliant white light of happiness and its causes. Like the trees of the earth that thrive on the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen, sustaining life on the planet. Giving it fully, freely, joyfully away, such that the other person is completely filled with this brilliant white light of happiness and its causes. There is not even a trace of suffering or its future causes. Now, before ending the session, we should rest again easily in the natural state. Simply let all concentration, all imagination go. Simply drop into the essence, the ground of all. Now to close, share whatever goodness and positivity has come of this practice with everyone, with all beings, so that we may all be happy and joyful in a genuine, lasting way, free from all suffering. Thank you so much for your practice.